Welcome in, everybody. It is another episode of Scarves and Spikes, episode 40. If you're keeping track,
Wow.
same age as Tommy.
Oh, no, I knew you were going to do that. Oh, no. The podcast back hurts.
I know, man. Look, we're carrying a lot on the shoulders here. Things are going. Sydney's cut his beard off for some reason.
I know. You guys, we were talking about it before. Like, I decided to cut it off for now. It might make us return in the winter, but we'll see. But
yeah, you need it for this cold Georgia winter.
Yeah.
Fall starts in like 10 days. Like, we're almost to winter.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Absolutely. But we got a big show coming up, don't we,
yeah.
Tyler?
How you guys doing?
Yeah.
Doing well. I'm excited for Saturday.
I have to pack my suitcase after I get off this.
Yep. Yeah, I know. You're coming to town, making your appearance, and I think we'll be all getting together before the match. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But Tyler, what do we got today?
We have a ton. First of all, thank you guys so much. I see a ton of people in the chat, hair and heads. Yeah, we come in peace. I appreciate you guys for popping in for sure. It's going to be fun. I don't know if you guys are going to be at the bins this weekend, but if you are, we'd love to see you. But yeah, so we got a busy show. We have an interview with Nick Firmino from Atlanta United. We have an interview with Felipe Cardenas from The Athletic.
Two interviews.
Wow. We have a giveaway from Carmen and Diego with a set of stickers that are either way, they're going to be fitting for whatever happens this Saturday. Either this is fine, y'all, it's fine while everything's burning down, or engine number 17 back on track. So that'll come a little closer to the end of the show. But
yeah, if you're listening to the podcast after the fact, that's all the more reason to watch, because you miss giveaways like this. We'll try to give you guys some love down the road, but yes, that's again another reason to watch every Wednesday night, 7 p.m.
Absolutely. And also, if you are here watching live, comment. Just comment, give us something to talk about. That'll get you an entry into this giveaway for the Carmen and Diego stickers. So all you got to do is show us some love in the chat, and you'll be entered to win. You'll get to see Tommy's Wheel of Fortune later on in the show.
Tommy is
ready.
Getting the entries ready right now as we speak.
Yep.
I hope people don't have long names. It's just more to type.
Just put initials in that case.
What a big weekend, though. Like, we haven't seen Atlanta United soccer in, a few weeks. It ended okay. It ended with a very entertaining game, I guess. And now you get the circus. And then after that, following that, you got the Falcons, who, they've got a big vibe. They had a big win over the weekend, and now they're still at home. So that's huge. It's just gonna be a fun weekend overall. So if you see me, come say hi.
Yeah, it really will be. I mean, 70,000 fans in attendance, probably
closer to 75.
Yeah, I was going to say, the match or the stadium has been full capacity several times this year, but I imagine every seat will be filled, if not 95% of the seats filled on Saturday, just because Messi is the draw, obviously, for many neutrals. But at the same time, it's going to be quite a match. Atlanta United really need this match to maintain their playoff run. I mean, they're pretty safe in the playoff places right now, but Miami will be kind of desperate to continue their run of form, really rich run of form that they're in right now. And it looks like Messi is playing. He did play against Bolivia, and he was still with the team, but he flew back to Miami instead of Buenos Aires. So he is with Miami, I believe, right now as we speak, and all signs are pointing to him playing on Saturday, which is incredible to think about. So, yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll get into that with Felipe, of course, and give you our predictions, kind of a heat check on how we both feel, all three of us feel about the match, and it should be a really exciting weekend at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Hopefully, a 3-point weekend for Atlanta United, but.
Yeah.
Real quick,
personally.
Yeah, and so he felt something in the first game, right? So Messi goes off international duty, he feels something. and he gets taken out a little bit early, right? That was the story.
Yep.
And then he just sits out. Is there a chance that he just you figure he probably does play, but you think there's a chance they just rest him more?
No.
I think he'll play. I think Tata Martino realizes the importance of this match. Oh, by the way, Tata's coming back, and Josef, by the way. Yeah. So I think he realizes the importance of this match. So I would say that Messi does play. Maybe he comes in as a substitute at the very least, but I think he is playing. So I don't think that he would rest this match, especially after having played against Bolivia. So he'll be well rested pretty much, and should be a very interesting match.
Actually, his longest rest that he's had since joining Inter Miami, believe it or not. So we got that going for us, guys.
Yeah. Knock on wood.
So quick things, real quick. Because this is such a big match, this is probably going to be the closest thing to a packed out Mercedes-Benz Stadium since 2018 MLS Cup. We're going to be all three of us, in and around the Benz Saturday afternoon, Saturday going into the match. We'll be at the supporters tailgate. We'll be at the backyard. We'll be set up right in the backyard, kind of a few hours before the match, hanging out. We'll be there with the Backyardigans. We'll also be hanging out with the Atlanta United Fan TV folks. So we're going to be everywhere. We're going to be all over the place.
Yeah. Come say hello.
Yeah, come say howdy.
He'll love to meet you in person.
May have some stuff to give away.
Yeah. We've met some of you in person, but we love to meet as many people as we can in person. So definitely be able to look out for us, like Tyler said, supporters section or supporters tailgate.
I'll be there.
Backyard. Tommy will be there from Ohio making an appearance. I mean, that's worth it right there to come see us just to meet Tommy. But
supporter section, I've never done that before. This is like, I'm a virgin to this. So like I've heard like you're gonna get beer thrown on you. Yeah, like this, it's probably just like going to a water park, right? Like you just expect to get other people's stuff on you. Like that's just what I feel like it's going to be in the supporter section. But follow us on Twitter. I mean, if you're listening to us, you probably already do. We'll kind of tweet our updates on where we are,
and
Instagram. Yeah, we'll post there so you can keep an eye and then try to come find us.
We're just talking. We'll probably roll up there around like 1 or something like that. So well before the match. So yes, again, come say hi to us. Like Tommy said, follow us on our socials, and we'll kind of give you the scoop as to where we will be. Cool. But
so really quick, we have before we dive into the two, I guess, main parts of the show. I'm gonna, because there's a lot of folks in the chat. Really quick, Daniel, can Saba and Shonda help Atlanta and change the result from the last result versus Miami? I'm going to let Felipe Cardenas answer that for you once you see his interview. So, because we talked in length about what the summer transfer window has done for Atlanta since the last time they played Miami in the Leagues Cup. Heron Heads, the Inter Miami podcast, saying, is Miles Robinson expected to play after participating in the game last night versus Oman? Yes. I think Pineda came out today and said that this squad is expected to be pretty much full strength starting 11. So Miles Robinson is absolutely a part of that. He'll I'm sure he'll be starting. If he doesn't, then there's probably an underlying issue that we don't know about.
Yeah.
Underlining loss.
Yeah.
If we don't have him.
Yeah. Real quick, Ariel asking, what's current regular MLS attendance record? That was at the Rose Bowl earlier this year, 82,100.
It won't be broken.
It won't be broken here. Not this time.
Unless you have people sit on other people's laps, then maybe.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know if got a lot of questions right off the bat. I don't know if we want to leave a lot of those until later, or just hop into the Felipe interview.
Yeah, you guys. Well, we'll do the Nick one first. We're going to do Nick Firmino first. You guys, by all means, keep chatting, keep throwing them out there because we're going to hit on comments as we go through the show. But you got Nick Firmino for a little bit of time. Then we'll come back and we'll chat with you guys. And then it will be Felipe for a little bit. And we'll hit on any comments that you guys have from his. and then we'll get into the actual conversation about Miami and Atlanta and whatever the heck else is going on this weekend. So,
yeah,
you guys tried to get me too in that interview. You guys tried to trick me.
I can't wait for y'all to see it.
Yeah, so
you just he gave me the eyes, the Nick Firmino eyes, where they were just staring at me, and like I figured like there was just gonna be like some answer that I never mind. You listen, and then we'll talk about it.
Yes, it was recorded. I wasn't able to sit in on this, but yeah, here's Tyler and Tommy with Nick Firmino.
What's going on, buddy?
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me.
Last time we talked, we did an article on Dirty South Soccer that covered you. Really quickly, just wanted to kind of ask you, because that was an important match with Jack and everything. How was that seeing him again?
It was good, you know. Obviously, we didn't come out with the win, which is what we wanted. But you know, I feel like it was I'd say an emotional game for, you know, a lot of people on the field. A lot of people on the field played for Jack. You know, obviously Jack coming back, and you know, it was fitting that we played at the training ground, which is, you know, where he spent most of his time.
Yep.
You know, and I thought we played well in that game up until, you know, probably 10 minutes into the second half, and then, you know, they just came in and, you know, they were better than us in the second half. But yeah, I would say an emotional game.
Yeah. No, totally understand. I know it was chaotic too with the moving back to the training ground.
Yeah, that was weird.
Wild. That was wild.
Yeah.
So we got a handful of questions. Some of these are from our Discord people, people that obviously are watching you guys all the time. Some of them are from us, but they're all just kind of just fun questions. Let everybody get to know you a little bit better. Yeah. So you started with New England.
Yes.
Then obviously you went to a handful of places, but you went to Tulsa. What made you, if you had a say in it, what about Atlanta drew you? Or was there anything specific? Did you have any kind of connection, any kind of ties to Atlanta before? Or was it just kind of like an out of the blue thing?
Well, not really. You know, my agent has a good connection here. I didn't really know much about the team, the city, the area. But, you know, I'm glad it worked out the way it did, you know, and I've enjoyed it so far on and off the field. And, you know, hopefully, you know, there's many years to come.
You had a dream start to your MLS career. I mean, I don't think you could have anything better. You come in, 94th minute, score the tying goal.
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
It was unreal. You know, I don't think I could have, you know, imagined a better debut, which is crazy. And the fact that it was at home as well. I could have made my debut because I dressed for the game against Columbus, I think, early on in the year, away at Columbus. You know, but I'm glad I didn't. Then I wasn't glad I didn't, you know. But
yeah,
when I ended up going in at the Benz and signing that game, which was also a huge point, you know, at that point in the season. You know, if we lost that game, it would have been tough. That was an important point, and you know, I just want to keep building on that. But yeah, it was. I just couldn't believe it, really.
So it's funny you bring up Columbus, and Tommy, I think you're just like chomping at the bit to say it. Go ahead, tell them where you're from.
I'm a big Atlanta. I'm from Ohio, so I'm in Cleveland up here. So that was we drove down for that game, and just seeing everybody out, and it was like, oh, this game, it just felt like it was never going to end. So I can't imagine you just sitting there watching the score go up and going.
Yeah. No, yeah, it did feel like it wasn't going to end. You know, they were on their day that day. To be fair, you know, we were missing a few key players, and you know that's what happens. But yeah, I didn't know you were from Ohio. So you weren't happy though. You weren't happy that they won.
Oh no.
Okay,
I mean,
good.
look.
Okay,
you see these back here. No.
There you go. As long as you're with us.
Oh yeah, he's a good guy. He's definitely a good guy.
There we go.
Some days.
So, I know you kind of mentioned it to me in that article that we did, but for those, maybe just a little bit of a recap, and it's been about a month and a half since we had that conversation. But did the coaching staff really talk to you before the New York City match in terms of like saying, you know, there's a good chance you'll get minutes, or just kind of be ready, or what did they say? And if they said anything at all, what kind of specifically was it?
It was a more so of you know, be ready if you're called conversation, you know. You know, Gonzo told me, I've been doing well with the second team, and they've been noticing, they've been taking note of that, and that whether you go in or not tomorrow, this is the day before the game, so whether you go in or not tomorrow, just know you're here because you deserve it, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna play or you're not gonna play. Just be ready if we need you. Try to make an impact. That's what I try to do.
So that happens, and everybody went crazy, right? So on we do a post game spaces after every Atlanta United game. So if everyone's winning, everybody's high on life and wants to talk about it. If they lose, they're down, they want to complain. But one thing that they were talking about pretty much all season, because we talk about the twos during that, was Nick Firmino and when are we going to bring him on full time? And our spaces that night was just filled with sign Nick Firmino. He's got to come here full time. So that you're constantly brought up there, and I'm sure after the season it's going to be a full on campaign to get you up here full time.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Showing love to the twos. But yeah. That's obviously the goal. That's goal for any player, at Atlanta United, whether you're on the U13s or, the second team is to get to the first team and affect it. And, I've just tried to do my best since the season started, to make a case for myself to be in the discussion at the end of the year. And that's what I'm going to keep doing. I want to finish strong. And everything will happen the way it's supposed to happen when it's all said and done.
What switch got flipped that's just kind of done it this season for you?
I wouldn't call it really a switch. I would say just consistent hard work over the years, if you're consistent in what you do, work on your craft every day, dedicate yourself to something, at some point it's going to all click, it doesn't just really just happen. Sometimes you go through hard seasons and you go to places where, maybe it didn't work out for you, but, when things start flowing and you get that confidence, you never look back. You just keep going.
Well, you've been in Atlanta for a year now, just a little over a year. You grew up in Boston. What's the biggest difference in city life?
Definitely the weather, but city life, I would say, I like the weather here a lot better than Boston. I don't know. I would say, that Southern hospitality really is a thing, I would say, Up north, we really don't care about, what anybody else is doing. And, I can't say I do, when I'm up there, very cold, very, I'm doing my thing, you're doing yours. Here, everybody's a bit more friendly,
I mean, I come down to Atlanta all the time, and just, it's so different. Like people.
It is. It's hard to explain if you haven't been up north. It really is.
Right. Yeah, it just seems like everybody just wants to talk more, have conversations. And at least up north, everybody just wants to be left alone.
Yeah. That's well put. Well said.
So to piggyback on that, talk to us a little bit about your family, because from Brazil, then you moved to Boston, but kind of take everybody through, in your own words here, like, what got you into soccer, what your family life, like what kind of motivates you?
My family is my motivation, it will forever be my motivation. I got into soccer because my dad loved it. His dream was also to be a professional soccer player, but unfortunately he couldn't become one. And, so he kind of lives his dream through me, which is even a bigger reason for me to, try to push on and be the best player I can be and get to the highest level that I can get to. Also setting an example for my little brother, which is, I only have one little brother. He's 16 now. So, and he plays as well. So, that's good. And just make my mom proud, That's all.
Where does what name do we need to be looking out for? Other Firmino, younger brother.
Oh, Lucas Firmino.
Where's he? Is he playing like academy or anything? Or
he's playing high school soccer right now.
Okay, sweet, awesome. Yeah. Locally here, or is he still up in?
No, he's in Boston still.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out for him.
So during your fun time, the team's fun time, your fun time, what do you guys do?
Good question. I usually hang out with, most of the guys, Tony, Kareem, Centeno. We like to go out and do different things, man. The summer, a lot of lake, pool, just chill, cookouts, stuff like that. I like spending time with my family, but unfortunately they're all the way in Boston. I have seen them a couple times. But yeah, we just like to chill out, just hang around each other, really, away from the soccer and the training and stuff like that. It's good to get your mind off that for a little bit.
You guys play FIFA?
Yes, we do actually. We do.
Who's the best?
I'm being biased, me, but if I'm being honest, it's Centeno. Eric's the best.
Well, Centeno's one of those guys that likes to try to do some FIFA stuff on the field too.
Yeah, that's how he plays. He plays the same way on FIFA, and it's annoying. We just use Real Madrid and get Vinny down the wing and start.
He's one of those guys.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the lake and the pool. What lake? Because there's a handful around here, but I'm assuming.
What's
Lanier?
it called? It's like the what is it? We say it again?
Lanier.
Yeah, Lanier. We've been to Lanier. We've been to another one too, but I'm not good with names and stuff like that. We have been to Lanier a couple of times. Yeah.
All right, so Lanier's crazy because man, Lanier people be disappearing in Lake Lanier all the time.
Is that real?
Like Bermuda Triangle up in Lake Lanier.
Serious?
Man. Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay, I don't think I'm going back.
Not to turn you away or anything, but yeah.
I mean, I had a fun time when I was there.
Yeah, no, it's a cool place. There's Lake Oconee. That's another one.
I can't remember the other ones we've been to.
That's okay. That's the thing. You talking about the weather, man. There's nothing around here anyway. You pick one of them lakes, and that's a chill spot for sure.
Yeah, I've also been to the what's the river? The
Chattahoochee?
Was it? It might have been. I don't know what it's called. It's like
what'd you do?
It's like tubing. Is it called tubing?
Yeah. Okay. Where you sit? Yeah. Like, are you talking about like a real river?
Like a real river, yeah.
Okay, so you're probably talking about maybe were you in Helen?
Yes, I was in Helen. There we go.
Yeah, man, dude, that's cool as heck.
That was a fun little spot, yeah.
Yeah, we go there. Me and my family, we go there a lot. So that's cool, man. That's because Helen's a neat spot. I don't know, people from all over. It's weird because it's the Alpine kind of village feel, right?
Yeah. So yeah, it is it's a little far, but
yeah, it's a drive.
It's cool to go see.
But we're gonna have like
so that makes sense now. Sorry.
Of like traveling with Nick Firmino in Georgia.
Right, there you go.
Go ahead, Tommy.
Well, now hearing about Lanier, that makes sense because, when Josef was with the team, he would always post pictures. He was always there. And then I'd always see comments under it saying, "Please don't die, Josef. Please don't go in the water." And now you're saying It's the Bermuda Triangle. So now I'm wondering, I was wondering why everybody was so concerned. Like, does Josef not know how to swim? But now,
so Josef was always out there then.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Yep. It's a popular place, man. There's, I'm not trying to like bring this interview down or anything, but there's I think 7 people that have died in that lake just this year.
That's outrageous.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, fun fact about Lake.
Put a tracker on yourself.
I don't know if that's so fun, but crazy fact.
Yeah. All right. So, 3 years from now, where do you see yourself? If you had your choice, if things were to just go your way, where do you see yourself?
If they were going my way, okay.
Yeah.
In Europe, playing in Europe, God willing. That's my dream and that's my goal as well. So, yeah.
You told me, but any team in Europe, which one are you going to pick?
Do you remember what I said?
I do.
I want Tommy to guess.
Okay, yeah, Tommy, you go with it. I mean, if you read the article, you might know, but I'm just saying.
That's a good one. If he doesn't,
so now he calls me out. So I read it last night preparing for this, but I was like half awake. I'm just gonna take a guess.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna guess one of my favorite teams. It's probably one of the most hated. But I'll say Manchester United.
No.
I knew it wasn't the answer.
Wrong country.
Yeah. Spain. Go Spain.
Yeah, what do you think in Spain?
It's only 2.
I mean, I was about to say, yeah, there's just pick one of the 2 big ones.
Oh, I don't know. You just putting me on the spot today.
You got this.
You do have it. I know you're gonna guess the right one.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Where did Messi come from?
There you go.
Oh, man.
It's okay.
Guys.
Barcelona.
No. Well, I figured it was Barcelona, but like
see?
I felt like he was setting me up.
No.
I felt like he was and then Tyler, you had that weird smile on your face.
What?
And then Nick Firmino's eyes are staring at me.
Yeah.
I felt like this was just like
It's all a setup, Tommy. He actually wants to go to Madrid. I'm kidding. No, it's Barcelona.
Are you really? Are you serious?
No, that's
It's
Barca.
Barcelona.
Oh,
It's Barca. Yeah.
my goddaughter is obsessed with Barcelona, and
Yeah.
like she throws it in my face, so I wouldn't have picked them just because she watches these, and she would have been really proud. But now she's gonna throw this in my face that you
There you
picked
go.
it. So
There you go.
It's okay. You
I
just
hope you play
Smart
for him
girl.
because then you'll
Smart
make her
girl.
happy.
Smart girl. There
She
you go.
is. You know, goal celebrations. You know, you had a good one there when you had. What's your favorite goal celebration?
I don't know. I've done a couple of dances. My favorite one that I did this year was probably one against New York City. I did with Johnny. Yeah, we did like this little Brazilian dance that we do. You know.
Is there a name to that dance?
To that dance?
Yeah,
there was. I forgot what it was called. It was hot at the time.
I was curious. I didn't know because I've seen. I mean, you talking about Vinny over at Madrid? Like he's doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Vinny
Scoring,
goes great. Paquetá as well with West Ham.
Yeah,
likes to dance a lot.
So this is gonna be a little different. This is gonna be kind of rapid fire. So just like first thing that comes to your mind, okay? Nothing hardcore.
I'm not good at these, but let's go.
It's okay. I mean, take as much time as you need, but just first thing that comes to your mind. All right. Favorite soccer player?
Neymar.
Okay. Well, we already asked that one. Favorite sports besides soccer?
Basketball.
Okay.
Who's your favorite basketball player?
LeBron James, the greatest of all time.
Then you'd be
Jordan?
good here with me in Cleveland. Then it'd be perfect.
Oh, that's true.
See? Oh yeah, you're from Cleveland. Have you ever been to a LeBron game?
Oh, many of them. I was, that whole playoff run, the first playoff, when he first came in, it was just wild to see how,
Wait, what first play? Like first stint in Cleveland, Bron?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool watching him grow up, right? And then he leaves, and then when he came back, like this city was insane. I was down at the parade. Parade was wild down there. He could change a city, just like Messi's changing right now. Miami. I mean,
changing everything.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, pause on the rapid fire. I just got to say, man, I was heartbroken because we talked about that article, and you were like, "What would be the biggest moment of your career if you got to step on the field with Messi?" And it didn't happen that week after. So I'm still rooting for it to happen at some point very soon. But you were like, dude, if I can make it on the field during Leagues Cup, but that's another one I'm glad you didn't make it onto because that was a rough one for Atlanta.
Yeah, it was.
So
it was always next year. That was tough.
Yeah. Y'all will be in a better place, I think, next year. So, All right. So back to the rapid fire. This one might be tough. Favorite Atlanta restaurant?
See, I'm bad with names.
You like me, man. That's how I am.
It was in downtown Atlanta. Oh, this is terrible.
Did it have a waffle on the front of it?
Don't do me like that, man. Waffle House, absolutely.
What'd they serve?
It was seafood. Was it seafood? No, it was not seafood. I'm crazy.
I'm not saying this because you're Brazilian. I was thinking you might be going like Fogo de Chão or something. But
I like Fogo, but as far as Atlanta restaurant, because there's Fogo everywhere.
Yeah.
I'll say Rio Steakhouse. It's a Brazilian spot. It is okay. That's actually it's a lot better Brazilian food than Fogo.
Okay.
And I go there a lot.
I've heard that. Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Have you been there?
I haven't been there, but I've heard a lot about it.
You got to go. It's right next to the training ground, so I go a lot with some of the guys.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
I wrote it down. I'm in town on Friday. I might head down.
See? Yeah. Go down there.
Getting these guys some business. One random fact about yourself.
I know how to play the clarinet.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. There's like a school thing?
It's weird. Yeah, it's cool.
That's cool.
It's weird, huh? When I tell people that, they don't believe me.
Hey, man, that's perfect. One random fact. I never would have guessed that.
Yeah.
Ever.
That's crazy.
Favorite band?
Favorite band?
Or musician, whatever.
Okay, I'll go artist. Drake.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't really listen
Alright.
to bands much, to be fair.
Okay. Yeah, I get that. Favorite movie?
The Lion King.
Okay. The original one, like the
Yeah,
animated
that
one.
movie one was. What are we doing? Yeah, give me the cartoon one.
I like it.
Yeah.
That made me cry when I was a kid.
Yeah, that's
I'll
a
be the
good
first to say it.
movie.
Tommy, you got any more?
Do you have a TV show you binge watch?
Not really. You guys Netflix guys?
Yeah.
I do some. I don't watch Netflix as much as I
I've
used
watched
to.
like the big stuff. Something gets really big, like a Squid Game or like a, it gets a lot of people
Stranger
talking.
Things?
I could never get into that. I watched like the first 2 episodes. It's not for me.
Yeah.
Ozark. Have you guys watched Ozark?
Yes.
I've seen some of Ozark. I haven't seen the whole
Ozark
thing.
I watched all season. Like it's weird. Like if I get into something, I'll watch it all. But it's hard for me to like a show.
Yeah, I'm picky.
Yeah,
Ted
same.
Lasso?
Yeah. Wow. That's unreal. But that's just next level. That show.
Yeah.
But as
It
far
was
as,
a well written show.
yeah.
Did you cry at the last episode? I did.
No, I can't cry with stuff like that. But it's just like, it's just fun to watch.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's just wow. Yeah, you feel like you're a part of the team. That's actually crazy.
And the thing is, like, I tell this to people that don't really follow soccer. Like, you could watch the show.
It's the fact that we follow it and I play and
you can enjoy it.
Yeah, some stuff just hits close to like stuff you've been through. So
Are there any other sports movies you like?
specifically,
Space Jam.
I mean, the new one.
You like the new one?
The Braun one.
Because
Yeah.
it's got LeBron. Yeah. I like the first, but I grew up with it though. So.
Yeah.
I'm more of a Mighty Ducks guy. That's my thing.
Yeah. I just want LeBron to be recognized as the greatest. That's all. So I'm just trying to, maybe it wasn't a good movie, but it's my favorite movie now, I guess.
Hey, there we go.
So did you stay up? Did you stay up that night and watch when he set the record?
The scoring record?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot where I was. I was in some hotel, but I was watching it on my phone. Yeah, I had to watch that one.
Yep,
it was a magical moment. Like it was weird how they just stopped the game and like everybody just came down and like took pictures.
Yeah,
yeah, that was
a
weird thing.
Yeah,
and then he had to finish the game.
Yeah.
So, what does now? This is we can get past the rapid fire stuff, but you mentioned Ted Lasso and those things kind of hitting close to home. What does your off season look like now? I mean, now that y'all are getting close to the end of the 2 season, obviously the first team is getting closer. But what does your off season kind of look like typically?
So I go back home because usually we do some sort of postseason training here. The season like after that last game, we don't just all leave. I'll probably train for a couple weeks. And then when I go back to Boston, I'll probably take, a week and a half off, just, let the body recover. And then right back to, doing my gym stuff, on the field stuff. I got guys that I do stuff with, just getting ready for the next season. The off season is a very important part people overlook because if you don't get your body ready for it and you just hop into an intense preseason, that's where injuries happen and stuff like that. But the most, people get injured usually in preseason, because guys are coming in from not doing anything to, intense trainings, 2-a-days, lifts, stuff like that. So, yeah, I just spend most of the offseason just getting ready for the next season and obviously spending time with my family as well.
You spend the majority of it, I'm assuming, up in Boston?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you ever go back to Brazil?
Well, I haven't been back since 2019.
Okay.
Which is hard because, I want to go back with my brother, but my brother has school. So it is hard. But yeah, I'm going to try to make that happen maybe next year.
Anything kind of parting comments, anything that you want to tell the fans, people that were watching you all day in and day out, or anything in particular?
Not really. Just thanks for the support. You know, we appreciate the support.
We appreciate it. We appreciate the time. You know, the
Thank
twos
you
have
guys.
been fun to watch. You've been fun to watch.
Thank you.
Constant highlights, and we're looking forward to seeing more of you next year.
Thank you guys. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm gonna get up to Rio at some point now.
No, you have to go.
I'm
I
gonna
didn't know
go.
you've never been.
Yeah, man, I've never been. It's one
Have
of
you
those
had
things.
Brazilian food? You've been to Fogo, right?
Yeah, I've had Brazilian food a
Okay.
bunch.
Yeah.
And like I said, man, everybody said that place is actually better
Because it's
Fogo.
actual, like, you know, it's actual Brazilian food. Not Fogo's like it's just really expensive. Fogo, I don't really like Fogo.
Yeah, I've heard it's kind of commercialized. I guess
It is super.
Yeah.
It's like
All
saying
right, cool.
Chipotle is Mexican.
That's yeah,
You know?
exactly.
It's literally like that.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
So, all right, cool. Nick Firmino, everybody, and Nick, we do appreciate it, and we will catch you at the games and at the training ground.
See you guys.
See ya.
Nick Firmino, it's a great interview.
Good
Unfortunately, I
stuff.
wasn't able to listen in on that, but Tommy, Tyler, you guys hit it out of the park. So
We appreciate it. That was a fun one. Nick is, yeah, if you guys don't know, I did this interview with Nick about a month and a half, 2 months ago, over on Dirty South Soccer. So if you haven't got a chance to go check that out as well, go check it out. But cool guy, you know, he's having the season of his life right now with the twos. He is up near the top in the goal scoring. He's top of goal contributions. The guy just is, you know, he's killing it this year. And I mean, he's a cool guy to hang out with, you know? Yeah, Chris, it was pre-recorded. There's no way we were timing all this to happen right now, but good questions though. I like.
yeah, no, yeah, they beat Huntsville the other day. Jackson Conway had a last minute header, so Atlanta
in the
United
playoff race.
Yeah, still in the playoff hunt right now. They're on 33 points, 4 back of Huntsville, actually, for that semifinal playoff spot, with NYCFC 2 and Philadelphia Union 2 ahead of them on 36. But yeah, Nick right now 15 goals, 3 back of 2 players for the Golden Boot lead and MLS Next Pro. But as he said, Tyler, really have an incredible season. And thanks to Nick for stopping by and talking to you guys. And yeah, looking forward to seeing what's next for him.
If you don't sign him next year, I would imagine he'd go somewhere else to try to find that starting spot. I mean, he's had a hell of a year. So, I mean, he's made the case to get that call up, to get that permanent call up. So if he can't do it, I mean, you know, again, like, you expect this roster to get better next season, right? Even better than what it is, you know, what we've built from day one until now this year. But he's earned it, right? So, you know, even if you sign him and send him back to play for some 2 games, great. But it'll be interesting to see what the front office thinks of him going forward.
Big decisions concerning him and his place in the team. So, yeah, we'll see. But yeah, terrific season again with Atlanta United too. Regardless of whether or not they make the playoffs when it's all said and done. But good to see Nick really catching on and asserting himself and moving up the score sheet. So,
if anybody wants to know, by the way, because I do want to go, I haven't been yet, but Rio Steakhouse and Bakery is up in Marietta. It's near the Kroger. If you do go, let us know how it is. I want to know, because I'm going to make it up there at some point.
I need somewhere to eat on Friday.
There you go.
They have not sponsored us, by the way, so that is a free plug.
But hey,
Rio
if you want to
Bakery.
sponsor us, come on.
If they're watching and listening,
yeah,
we'd love for you to sponsor Scars and Spikes if you want. But yeah,
good stuff, man. Nick is a really good guy. He's having a great season. You know, we try to get you guys players as often as possible, for sure. And yeah, I mean, you know, these guys are going nonstop between the first team and the twos. It's not always easy to catch a player to get them to sit down for an interview for a minute, but you know, Nick was super gracious, super happy to come on. I hate that I turned him away from Lake Lanier, but maybe you guys will thank me later at some point so he doesn't get got by the Lake Lanier monster. But Yeah.
Should go to Hartwell or the Oconee instead.
Yeah. Yeah. Oconee's safe. I grew up on Oconee. It's safe. You guys don't have to worry about anything there at all. I don't think.
I
But
can't even swim.
are you serious?
No.
I can't either.
I mean, I'm serious. Yeah, I
Lord.
can't. I can't swim.
Confessing
I
days on the
All
show.
right. Scarves and spikes swimming lessons. Here we go.
I watch like videos of like my 3-year-old nephew like at swim class, and he's like going underwater and he's like all happy and moving like a dolphin, and there's just me who just almost drowned in a pool when I was a kid. Yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah. Tyler, what's your secret? No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's definitely not that I can't swim.
I'm telling people my weaknesses, like not swimming and peanut butter. Like those are my 2 weaknesses.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
I don't know. Like if I had to pick something that just stood out right off the top of my head, you know what animal I hate?
What?
Just take a wild guess.
Herons?
Ducks.
Not ducks, not herons. That's messed up. That's
Geese?
messed up. No, not geese. It's actually like I think a pretty common animal to be like scared / annoyed by.
Tell us.
Dolphins.
Ticks.
Ticks?
I hate tick. I can deal with spiders. I can deal with roaches. I can deal with snakes. I don't trust snakes because they ain't got legs. But ticks, they're evil, and I hate them.
Yeah, I feel like ticks would be pretty natural to be annoyed by. But
Yeah, I don't like them.
Dogs, Bruno. Ugh,
No, dogs.
dogs.
I actually was
Bruno in the chat,
I had
dogs.
a lot of history with dogs, so no, I do love me some dogs.
But yeah, do you want to get into this Felipe Cardenas interview that we've been teasing?
Yeah,
Sure.
As we shift in Miami.
Yeah, transition to the whole Miami thing.
Yeah, obviously Inter Miami coming into town on Saturday. Obviously, Lionel Messi, of course, is the big one, but of course, Tata Martino making his return to Mercedes-Benz Stadium as an MLS coach. That is, along with Josef Martinez's first appearance against Atlanta United at Mercedes-Benz Stadium as an Inter Miami player. So, yes, Felipe Cardenas from The Athletic, no introduction needed, was good enough to join us and talk to us about the match and really why Atlanta United is a sleeping giant. So we'll go ahead and play that interview. We pre-recorded that as well. Then we'll be right back to what you got.
Real quick, just reminding everybody, comment at some point, get you in for this set of stickers from Carmen and Diego.
Yes, indeed. All right, let's go ahead and cue this interview up with Felipe, and then we'll be back to discuss the Inter Miami match and give you our predictions and maybe answer a few questions you all may have about the match.
Everybody, we are here with Felipe Cardenas from The Athletic, who needs no introduction at all, has been covering Atlanta United for quite some time now, but now also covers U.S. soccer, Mexico soccer
everything.
In general.
Everything.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Good to see you guys. I know we've been trying to plan this one for a while. So it's good to finally, sort of sync up and I'm happy to be on the show, man. Excited.
We appreciate it.
Glad to have you.
Yeah. So we talked about, we've been talking back and forth for a while now, but it seems like this was the perfect time, right? Because you've been covering Messi since really the news dropped, right before the news dropped. I remember seeing you on CBS. You're down in Puerto Rico trying to have a vacation and everything's going crazy.
Yeah.
So just talk to us a little bit about how it's been covering Messi, like this kind of shift from, MLS as one pre-Messi to post-Messi and, the Tata coming into the mix. Like how has it been with everything going on?
Yeah, it's a good question because there certainly will always be MLS before Messi and MLS after, Messi, post-Messi. And there will never be another player like him in the league. Perhaps he'll usher in a new era and new rules and more ambition and maybe bigger players will start coming to MLS, but he's the best of all time for so many people. So how do you top that? With that being said, that's the context that is still very much a part of our reporting around Inter Miami and around Lionel Messi, in MLS, because it's still fresh. He hasn't played a full season yet here. He came in mid-season. The team was bad. Everyone knows the story, right? They were in last place. And then they hired Tata Martino as well. And so it was at the same time, you're also seeing Tata come back to MLS, who I think will still go down as one of the most important hires in MLS history, coming off 2 Copa America finals with Argentina. He had been at Barcelona. He had won in Argentina. He had won in Paraguay. He had gone to a World Cup already with Paraguay. I mean, he was a massive, massive coach when Atlanta hired him in 2016. And so all that came together. And then you have what the Miami market is and what they've always wanted to be in MLS is sort of this global brand, and David Beckham, sort of in front of it, the brand ambassador. So it certainly changed my job. I think before I had already gone from, being 100% dedicated to Atlanta United in 2018 and 19. That's all I did. And I think beginning in 19, I started to sort of branch out and cover a Gold Cup and do some international soccer as well for the Athletic. But Atlanta United was one of the biggest stories in MLS. It was the biggest story in MLS in 2018. It was the Inter Miami of 2018. Like, that's how big a story Atlanta United was in 2018. And so I look back on that a lot and remember, okay, like I've done this before. We've done this before. What was the exposure like? How did the fans react? So now, Messi, it's tough to get away from Messi. It's tough because he is who he is. And look at what they've done since he's come in. They haven't lost. They're unbeaten, I think, in 11 games. They won the Leagues Cup, and there's so much. There's still so much around him that's so relevant. He's up for an 8th Ballon d'Or. I mean, that's incredible too. So, yeah, it's been a shift, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, and I just thinking about those extraordinary images from Miami, from Argentina after they won the World Cup. Kind of a lighter note on him in Publix shopping, trying to be a normal person in Publix down there in Florida. So it's just been extraordinary, just the attention he's gotten, not just in MLS itself, but outside of MLS. But it kind of ties into my next question. So Messi is kind of the main draw of this match, right? But you talked about Tata, you talked about him coming back to MLS, but now you have this guy named Josef Martinez coming in as well, his first visit back to Atlanta since leaving the club. So you have the Messi narrative at play, you have the Josef and Tata returning narratives at play. How does Atlanta separate those narratives and keep a level-headed approach to this match coming up on Saturday?
Yeah, it's funny because I remember before Messi was signed, I bought tickets to, I don't know if you guys heard of the band Cannons. So maybe not. They're like a synth pop band, whatever. So they're coming to Atlanta this Saturday. And like months ago, like, I don't know, May, I was like, yeah, I'm going to go to that concert on September 16th. And then I realized at the time, I'm like, oh no, like that's Josef's game, like his game back in Atlanta. So that's, I can't miss that game. And now it's Messi coming to Atlanta. It's almost like completely overshadowed.
Totally
Josef
overshadowed. Coming
back. And then you had Tata coming back. And so to your point, Sydney, it's just a massive, massive occasion for MLS, for Atlanta, and for Inter Miami. Inter Miami, obviously, because they have to win these games. They can't afford to lose. They have almost zero margin for error if they want to make the playoffs. And then Atlanta, we're witnessing an evolution of what this team is, like what they were before and what they are today. But to answer your question, I think, I got a DM from a fan the other day, an Atlanta fan. He was like, why isn't Atlanta United hyping up this game? Like, there's no promotion around it. And my response was, I think it's intentional because this isn't about Messi. For Atlanta United, it's not about Messi. Like, yes, for the city, for the league, and for so many fans that are going to be at the stadium on Saturday, it's about seeing Messi. But for the club, they don't want to be part of this promotion. They want to keep it like it's about us. We're trying to win a game. We're trying to move up in the standings. So I'm sure tomorrow when we're at training, we talk to Gonzalo Pineda and Brad Guzan, like that's what they're going to say. But it is funny, Sydney, because, and also going back to your first question, Tyler, like the Messi stuff, you don't know how many people, and I've had to not clap back, but I've like DM people that get a little aggressive on Twitter that are like, all you do is talk about Messi now. Like, it's flooded my feed. Like, I don't want to hear it. You should see the stories at The Athletic. People are like, no more Messi stories, please. And it's like, what are we supposed to do? Like, not report on the biggest story in sports? And so I think it's really interesting when that's happening before a big game, because then the game happens, and so far Messi has delivered every single time. So I expect that to be the case on Saturday. I think it's going to be a really interesting game because, in talking to Gonzalo Pineda, some of his assistants at the media game, that's one of the benefits of going to the media game. You get to just sort of chat with these guys informally. And my takeaway is that they don't expect the game to look anything like the one in Leagues Cup where they lost 4-0. And one of his assistants was like, we don't even think Miami played that well. We just made tons of mistakes. We were naive, like in a lot of different ways. And then, Messi capitalized. And so I think it's going to be a totally different game, much more tactical probably. And Atlanta probably going, if they went after him in South Florida, those first 20 minutes and sort of paid for it. Like, I don't think Pineda is going to say, let's sit back and wait. That's going to be the biggest question in the first 20 minutes. Is Pineda like, we're at home, let's put it to them, Messi's tired, et cetera, or is he like, well, I don't want to get bit in the first 5 minutes. So it's going to be a good one.
Does that kind of favor Atlanta United a little bit? I mean, they've played Inter Miami before. They know what this team probably is going to do already. On top of the fact that they're playing at home too. So do those factors kind of favor Atlanta in the way, do you think?
I mean, it's really hard to bet against Inter Miami. I've tried it and I've paid for it. I think the one game where I was like, I don't think they win was against Cincinnati. And they pulled that one out. I like Atlanta in this game. I think they have home field advantage. I think this will be one of those times in this new Messi, sort of the Messi mania and the phenomenon of Messi in MLS is, I think you'll see a very pro Atlanta crowd. I think it's going to, yes, you're going to see Messi jerseys and, sprinkle about, but I really think this will be something that if you're not at the game and you're watching on TV, you're going to be like, oh, wow, like this is a home field for sure. And I'll bring it up now. I actually talked to Tata Martino yesterday for a story, a Q&A with The Athletic. It'll be out tomorrow. But I asked him about coming back to Atlanta. It was great. Like, I won't reveal everything he said, but, he's talked a lot about the current team. He mentioned all the new signings, what they're doing, what they do well, how they've changed the team. I mean, they have scouted, the new Atlanta United, if you will, very closely. And obviously he's excited about coming back to Atlanta. He always speaks highly of those 2 years, and it was a good conversation, especially that section about Atlanta and coming back.
Well, and you did see other teams basically promote Messi, right? Like, yeah. Messi's coming, buy this package, and it includes the Messi. Like, they just used it as selling tickets, and a lot of the fans did not appreciate that they were more selling Messi than the team themselves. So good for Atlanta for not doing that.
No, I think Atlanta is one of those teams that doesn't have to do that. Like they're still averaging over 40,000 people at a game, even when they're struggling. And this was always going to be a sellout. It's not even a question, so, I think I respect it too. Knowing Garth Lagerwey and some of the people in the front office, like, it doesn't surprise me that they're like, we're not going to do the Messi bit. And like, in the end, those types of things, can backfire. If you remember the LAFC game from last week, Carlos Vela leading up to that game almost refused to talk about Messi. Like, he kept getting questions about Messi, and the one thing he sort of made it sound like we'll play anybody. It doesn't matter who's in front of us. And, I think a lot of the narrative was like, well, so many other opponents so far have really been excited about playing Messi, even starstruck about playing Messi. And so I think it backfired for LAFC. I think Carlos Vela was trying, not trying to, but I think it was setting up as like, he was the man before Messi came to MLS. And it was sort of at a moment for him to be like in his home stadium with the world watching, really deliver. And he didn't, honestly. Messi did. So that's what happens when you sort of go nose to nose with the alien Leo Messi.
All right, Felipe. So I listened to a podcast from you. I think this was last season, I guess with our sister or brother podcast, whatever you want to call it, with Five Stripe Final. And you talked to Sam and Joe about Atlanta United being run for a longer period of time almost as a startup. The lack of scouting, the lack of analytics. And now, at that point, there really didn't seem like there was an end in sight. Like, we just didn't have any hope. It was just, this was how the team was going to be run, and that was it. And then Garth Lagerwey gets signed a little while later. Do you think they're on the right path now to getting out of that and joining, the big teams in MLS?
I do. I mean, I told someone that I ran into an old over 30s league teammate of mine randomly here in Atlanta, and I hadn't seen him in a long time. He's a big Atlanta United fan. He's a season ticket holder, and we were just talking about the team and the current state. And I mean, I told him that I think Atlanta is a sleeping giant, to be honest with you. And take that as you will, whether that is true or if that's if a team that's only 7 years old that's already won a championship, are they considered a giant or a super club, whatever you want to say. But I just feel like Atlanta has everything at their disposal to be really good consistently. And Garth Lagerwey, what you mentioned about the startup mentality, I talked to him about it and he agreed 100%. It was he's like, that's one of the first things that I wanted to fix when he came in. I remember he described the office at the facility, like where the employees work. And he was like, everyone's running around trying to do everything, multiple responsibilities. And the first thing he did was chill out, everyone, and let's specialize. What are you good at? What should you be doing? What should you be focused on? And that to him is one way of a corporate approach to restructure in Atlanta United, because remember he's a corporate lawyer. Yes, he played in MLS. He won a lot in Seattle, but a lot of his business experience comes from having been a corporate attorney in a massive firm. And so I think that's a lot of how he views just running a business, which is very, very different from what Darren Eales wanted to do. And I know above that, there's always Arthur Blank, who is just, a very successful entrepreneur, and he knows how to run businesses and cultures and all that. But, the keys were handed to Darren Eales and Carlos Bocanegra. And I think, they hit home runs right away, but it was not sustainable. And that was something that Garth Lagerwey said also. He's like, I couldn't replicate what they did. It wasn't going to happen where you just signed a bunch of great players and win championships. And so I think right now, you mentioned analytics and scouting, and analytics, especially in data, is something that Garth Lagerwey has always been really high on. And a lot of times in MLS, it's a lot of just words that executives say, but there is a team behind Atlanta United that isn't just in-house, but there's third parties that are helping them scout better and providing deeper analytics. And then Garth Lagerwey has been, he has a plan. He's like, we're going to sign my players. My DPs are prime age players. Prime age is 24 to 29. And this window, even before, first there was Giacomakis, and then you saw this window, 4 experienced players coming into the fold. And that's, for me, a huge change, because Atlanta, in my opinion, and this was one of my critiques, is that they just went too young, too fast. And they really jumped on the U22 initiative. They really jumped on signing the young South American player because it worked. You can't kind of blame them. But if you don't have experience in this league, it's really difficult to be consistent. So I think that's the plan. And you can see sort of that pathway, happening currently. And like I mentioned, the media game, when I was talking to some of the assistants, that's something that they mentioned. They've never doubted their talent, and I would agree. I think it's always been a talented group, but the message I got from the assistants was that sometimes it can be difficult to coach a group of young players where you have young players in key positions, game in and game out. They're going to make mistakes. Yes, they're coachable, but they don't have the experience to just solve things on their own. So I think that's why this window is so important, to bring in those 4 players essentially that just have a ton of mileage and can come in and play.
So I think Tyler has a question about the window a little bit later, but just want to ask you about Atlanta's schedule down the stretch. Obviously, Miami on Saturday. Then they visit DC They host Montreal. They travel to Philly. They host Columbus for their final home match of the regular season. Then they travel to Cincinnati, of course, on the top of the Supporters Shield standings at this current point in time.
Pretty grueling.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. So I feel like they're in a pretty good spot as far as playoffs is concerned, barring a kind of a catastrophic collapse. But considering they make it, what's kind of their ceiling in playoffs? Is this a team that maybe could get hot, especially with these new signings that you mentioned, or is this a team that maybe they're destined for essentially an early exit? What are your kind of thoughts?
Well, it's a really tough schedule. You rattled off a bunch of good teams, and I think that says everything about the Eastern Conference too versus the West. The West is pretty weak this year, in my opinion, and the East is a lot stronger. And so that's why this last stretch and decision day in the East is going to be really important. And Atlanta they're not in a position to host a playoff spot yet, and I think they really, really need to do that. I think they're going to be a lot more dangerous if they start the playoffs at home. Like, I really believe that, like, yes, teams come here to Atlanta and get results. You saw Cincinnati do it. We've seen a lot of teams over the years, over this sort of downtime in Atlanta, come to Mercedes-Benz and get results. But if this team gets hot, starts winning games, like in a playoff format, I think playing at the Benz is going to be great for them. I contend and I really insist that they can't crash out of the playoffs this year. I just think that would be, I don't think it's like devastating that, the staff gets fired or there's this big change. I just think it's like, it can't be another year like that. You can't go into another offseason where you haven't met expectations. And I think expectations for this Atlanta United team is progressing to, I would say, this format is so bizarre. Let's just assume it's like a quarterfinal or something, like I think getting to an Eastern Conference final is doable, but I don't think that should be the expectation. They should be battling. They should get the playoff spot and go from there. I think they have a team to trouble opponents in the playoffs, bottom line, but they've been so inconsistent. You just don't know. I talk a lot about DMs I get from fans because they're so insightful a lot of times. And, one time, I've said this a few times before, but I got one recently where I think they beat Seattle. Yeah, it was after the Seattle match. And a fan wrote me and said, I don't celebrate wins when, like, a win like this, I feel relieved. And like, it was interesting to hear someone say that. Like, there's more of like, oh, thank God we didn't lose, than, well, hell yeah, like, we're Atlanta United. Like, of course we go in anywhere and we beat people like the way it used to be. So there's still that, I think, that hurdle for Atlanta to get over and become a team where, like, every match you're like, doesn't matter where you play, what you're getting, they're going to be dangerous. And they still sort of let teams back in. And so I think for me, they just can't flame out. That, to me, I think would be just a big blow to the project. And especially to Gonzalo Pineda, I think he really needs to have a strong postseason.
Well, so you said Eastern Conference Finals, and you kind of laid out, just your thoughts regarding Atlanta United. Is that because when you look at the East, probably outside of Cincinnati, like, this group of teams currently in playoff spots may not be super, from my vantage point, a lot of these teams look beatable. I mean, certainly Philly looks beatable, Columbus, Montreal,
New England,
away from Montreal.
Not that you're playing New England again, but like, they could fall apart right now.
Yeah.
Or they might never practice again.
They might never practice. Yeah, New England it's just tire fire. But you mentioned these other teams like Orlando. If the way things stand now, Atlanta has to go to Orlando. They don't want to do that. I guarantee they don't want that matchup. Can they win it? Yeah, of course. But it's a rivalry game. Anything goes. It's in Orlando. Like, all those things become factors. And I think Atlanta, where they stand currently, because I agree with what Tata Martino told me yesterday about Atlanta. It's like, they're a team that's literally in the process of evolving. And when that's happening, they're not set. They're not set in stone. They're not a well-drilled, well-oiled team yet. So you don't want to just throw them to the fire and expect them to get through the gauntlet in the East. Like, let's just assume to get to an MLS Cup, like you mentioned the teams that they would have to beat, like you would have to beat Philly, you'd have to beat Cincinnati, you'd have to eliminate Orlando, you'd have to eliminate New England. Like whatever's happening in New England, that's still a good team that's in third place. So that's the challenge for Atlanta, proving that they can beat good teams on a big night. And that's always been sort of I think that's the thing that this fan base has been waiting for, to see that happen consistently.
And poor Gonzalo, like you've seen him get eliminated from 2 competitions, and each time he just looks more sad. And if he gets eliminated in this first best of 3, like I can't even imagine what he's going to look like up there at that post game. Especially, the worst is you get swept, right? I don't think anybody wants to get swept in these first, this new playoff format, because it's just going to look terrible. And if you go and you lose Open Cup right away, Leagues Cup, get eliminated right away, and you get swept in the playoffs, it's not good.
I mean, first of all, also, man, like the other day, I was someone that doesn't follow MLS was asking me, what is the postseason like? And I caught myself saying there's a best of 3, and I couldn't believe I was saying it. Like, what in the world?
So weird.
It is.
I don't.
Weird.
I hate it, honestly. And like, I think when we witness it and it's happening, we're all going to be like, wait, they still have to play another game against the same team, and like possibly twice. And I know, like you can go back to the traditional home and home, and this happens around the world. Teams play each other in a home and home, but best of 3 is just I can't believe it's happening. But to your point, Tommy, like it does put teams at the risk of being swept, and that being part of their end, the end of their season, sort of like the broomstick and all that that we see in the NBA and baseball as well. So yeah, I think Gonzalo Pineda, my takeaway from being at that media game, talking to the staff and talking to him too, is that they realize that they have to win games. Like they have to win games. I still, even though like I've witnessed the staff work really hard, and when you talk to these guys, you realize like these are good people. These are hard workers. They're smart. I still think Gonzalo Pineda and his staff have to prove that this is a job that is open to a first-year coach. I think that was a big risk. I still contend that was a really big risk. I think Atlanta United is the type of team that should have a top coach. You can define that as you will. Was Heinze a top coach? Was DeBoer a top coach? Like, we could argue for days about that, right? But you've already had Tata, and you look at what Tata is today and like what he's done. If you're going to go young, you've got to go young and be good. Look at LAFC. They did it with Cherundolo. That was a risky hire, and like he's already won an MLS Cup. Like, how long do you give a young coach to really get in and establish himself? I think Atlanta doesn't lend itself to much patience in that sense. And so that's why I think it's a big playoff, big end of year for Gonzalo Pineda, no doubt.
Real quick, you talk about the schedule, and you look at last time Atlanta United went to the playoffs, when they had to sneak in, when Pineda came in, they had one of the easiest schedules out there. They were playing all the bottom teams. They obviously got in and then immediately get eliminated from New York. Now you're doing the opposite. You're facing the best of MLS. You win, you could go in with a ton of confidence. If you come in, you go and you lose to both Ohio teams, and you're barely making it in.
It's a great point. It's a great point, Tommy, because let's say they do beat all these good teams, quote unquote, good teams to end the season. That is a ton of, those are a lot of tokens that Pineda suddenly has in his pocket to spend, and it might even ease perhaps a dip in form in the playoffs. Maybe you sort of remember, remember we went on that run, we beat Cincinnati, we beat Columbus, like all these things. But then at the end of the year, you also realize like Cincinnati's going to win the Supporters Shield. What are they? They're already in the playoffs. What do they look like at the end of the season? Are they resting their players? Like, are you playing a first team? So all those factors are going to be at play. But it's a good point, Tommy. It's like last year, or that first year when Pineda came in, it was like they barely got in the playoffs, and then they got bounced right out. And so it just is. It's an important time for Atlanta United, you know, and it starts this Saturday again. Like I think it's almost a bigger game for Atlanta United than it is for Inter Miami. You know, like yes, Inter Miami can't lose because of all that stuff. Yeah, I get it, but Atlanta can't get whooped again by Inter Miami. They can't get beat. They need to show up in front of, you know, the world on Saturday and show like we're a big brand. Look at our stadium. Look at our fans. We put Messi under pressure. We win a game. That would be huge for the brand.
And we deliver Miami their first loss potentially.
Right.
That'd be huge, you know, in MLS since Messi came. That would be a big statement.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
The gambling in me says, you know, looking at the odds, you know, Atlanta United's the favorite.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. It's tough to argue against that. Like I said, you know, playing at home, and again, it's not a bad team, Atlanta. This is a team that I think got better after the window, and so and you know, Yakimakis is a terror. He's tough, man. Like he can score goals. He's a difficult to handle. I think he'll be difficult to handle for Miami center backs. And then, you know, if Atlanta can play in a way where Thiago Almada, and this is on Thiago too, you know, he needs to realize that, yes, you're playing Messi. Yes, you're at home. There's 75,000 people. You're on TV. You don't have to do it all though, you know, and, you know, I think he's done that in some games where he's just like taken on too much. And the games where I think he looks the best is when he's just doing literally what Messi does for Inter Miami and Argentina, letting everyone do what they're due, like, and then finding your pockets, finding your time, getting on the ball in an attacking position, and creating. Against Dallas, I remember there were times where he was reverting back. He was helping the team build out of the back again. Thiago, I'm like, dude, stop.
What are you doing?
Get out of there. You know, like that. You don't have Thiago up front, and it just changes everything. And so that's on him. I think he has to realize, like, even in this big moment, you know, don't get caught up in it. He's still a really young player.
Good stuff.
All right.
Good stuff, man. So really quick, just to let you guys know, there is a continuation, a sequel of that interview. There's more. But wait, there's more. However, you got to go get on our Patreon, $5, $10 a month, whatever you want to help us out with, because that is definitely what's helping us do this.
Yeah,
and give you the rest of the interview for sure.
There's also a 7-day free trial if you want to test drive it, see our content that we have up right now. So the rest of our conversation with Felipe, the whole thing runs a little under an hour. That'll be up. You did a training report, Tyler, training ground report. That will be up as well. So you'll be able to
Discord
that Discord as well. So yeah, patreon.com/scarves and spikes. Again, there's a 7-day trial just to see what we have up there right now. Get access to everything we have. There's an interview I should mention too with Tony Annan that Tyler and I did a few months back. But you get access to all that for free for 7 days. And then if you want to continue your subscription past then, you have the option to. But yeah, again, patreon.com/scarves and spikes. The interview, if you're watching live right now, will be live at 8:45. If you're listening on the podcast, by the time you hear this, it'll be already live on Patreon. But yeah, again, patreon.com/scarves and spikes. And yeah, really appreciate your support and appreciate those of you that support us and have subscribed already. Really does help us out a lot.
So and to kind of the tease a little bit there, like what we talk about, we talk about Boca in, Boca out, Pineda in, Pineda out. We talk about internet trolls. He talks a little bit about how fans think that he's trolling, and I admit that I feel like he trolls sometimes about it, and that's a fun conversation in general. So definitely check it out.
Yeah, it was a really good one, and thanks to Felipe, obviously, thanks to Nick Firmino as well for coming on. Just we wanted this episode to be big for you guys, right? And Patreon is definitely like a big part of that, because it's keeping the lights on. It's important. So we appreciate you guys' support. But yeah, so big episode with Felipe, big episode with Nick Firmino, and we have a game still to talk about. We have predictions. We have things that are going on this weekend, and we have a giveaway. So do we want to do the giveaway now, or do we want to do predictions and chat about the the game real quick.
Let's chat about the game, and then we'll do the wheel.
Yeah. Cool.
Agreed.
All right, so Josef. We haven't even talked about Josef Martinez on this show yet. We haven't really talked about Tata Martino yet. But, like, I think if you were to go back to April or early May, right, that was the story of MLS. Like, that was a big one. Like, Josef went to Miami. I remember where I was in Orlando on vacation earlier this year when they actually used the buyout. I was at SeaWorld. And they bought out Josef Martinez, which to me still sounds like a cuss word. But you know, it's just weird. So he's down in Miami. He goes down, he's doing his thing. And then all of a sudden Messi starts getting murmured again. Everybody's like, nah, he's not going to Miami. That's crazy. And then all of a sudden he does. And then it's Tata's joining him. And then so is Busquets and Alba and everybody else's best friend that's Messi related. And here we are. So Messi has been the story. Tata has been the story. But Josef Martinez coming back to the Benz for the first time is still a big deal. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, oh, sorry, go ahead, Sydney.
No, I was just going to say, Josef has something to prove, and he wants to show that he still can be the player that he used to be with Atlanta United. I'm of the opinion that, you know, unfortunately, his best days are behind him due to those knee injuries. And right now, looking at stats, he has 6 goals and an assist in 21 matches for Inter Miami this season. So, not the Josef that we're used to seeing. I mean, he's had some goals here and there. I think he had a penalty or 2. Obviously, 2 of those goals coming against Atlanta United, no less. But he's kind of become, no, he's kind of become the a subplot. And I think that's kind of what we're kind of implying. Josef Martinez is kind of the backstory at this current point in time. Tata Martino coming back is sort of the backstory, but they are stories. And Josef, like I said, he's a player that has pride, for better or for worse. And he's going to want to show that, again, he can be the player that he once was. And like I said, maybe that's not going to happen. Another thing to consider, you know, he's 30 years old, and you know, the body with those injuries, it takes a little bit longer to recover from. And I'm not saying that he's still carrying something. I'm saying that, you know, the age he is and what he's been through is obviously he's not the same player. And he went to Miami for a fresh start. Kind of bridges were burned, whether you point the finger at Pineda and Bocanegra, or you point the finger at Josef. Bridges were burned. So he's going to have a chip on his shoulder and want to come away with a win, especially with Miami in that playoff race. So that's one thing to discuss. Tata, of course, he's coming back, and that kind of is another subplot to this whole thing, right? You know, I don't feel like Tata is a player that will hold a grudge against Atlanta United. Maybe the way he left wasn't the best, in that, you know, he felt that there was a little bit of a schism between him and Carlos. But at the same time, I feel like he knew that this maybe wasn't a long-term situation for him. And he went to, of course, Mexico, thanks to the workout with Mexico. But part of him always wanted to come back to MLS. So here he is back with Inter Miami. And he's going to be under the spotlight. Not as much as the players, but he's going to be looked at as, okay, can he get this team to the playoffs? Can he get these players to play together? You know, the joke is, you know, the manager doesn't matter. I feel like the manager does matter. And Tata, of course, he has coached Messi. He's coached at Barcelona, so he knows how to handle stars. Josef being one of them, of course, to a lesser extent. But, of course, the big star is Messi. So how can you get Messi to gel with these players? How can you get them rolling in the same direction? And he's done that. He has absolutely done that. Messi's fit right in. Alba, Busquets has fit right in. These younger players, like Benhat Kuramaski, who got called up to the international team, U.S. international team. He's raised his level of play. Robert Taylor, had a really strong run of form on the Finnish international. And a lot of other players have really popped up. Campana, remember him? He's still there. So, yeah, a lot of moving pieces to this plot. And Miami, when it's all said and done, they're a desperate team, right? They know they have very, very little margin of error. I think I saw where they had to win 6 out of the final 8 matches to get to the playoffs. So pressure's going to be on them big time. They know they can't screw up, and they know that they can rally around Messi to kind of help them out. But they all know that they each have to look down inside of themselves and bring their best game. And Atlanta really needs to be on the lookout for that. Atlanta are in a better spot, obviously, but at the same time, you don't want to slip down the standings even further and risk putting yourselves in that play-in game, that 8-9 game. So a lot of pressure on both teams to come out from the jump and take this match by the horns. Maybe even more so a little bit for Atlanta, since it's at home. The world is watching, as Felipe said, and they got to perform. So let's see what happens.
And the biggest crowd that Messi has played in front of since he came to MLS, which I think people are kind of looking past that a little bit.
He's ever played it.
I don't know about ever. I mean,
close to it.
Down in the La Bombonera in Argentina and places like that. The Monumental. But I mean, it's gonna be up there. 75,000 people is nothing to laugh at for sure. So I mean, that's big. But I mean, when you talk about the Bernabeu and places like that in Madrid and then of course in Barcelona. But like either way, no matter what, like you played in some significant stadiums, but not here, right? Not here. That's the biggest thing. And Felipe kind of touched on it, right? When he said, this is going to be very much a home match for Atlanta, as it should be. But Atlanta's crowd has never disappointed, I don't think. So, and Tommy, because you were going to jump in and say something as well, but this is very much like one of those matches where a home field advantage is going to be huge for a team like Atlanta. You've got something to prove, right? You crapped the bed in the Leagues Cup. You had a rough go of it. Miami really embarrassed you. You're coming back home now. You have a new midfield. You have a new set of wingers. You have, another backup striker that just got here. We haven't talked about him yet. You've got a different team that you're looking at. And you could give Miami a run for their money. Now, you have to pretty much bet on the fact that Messi's going to get something. He's going to make something happen. I was talking with Jason Longshore and Henry Higuita this past training day about it. Like, it seems like a lot of teams are going to have to just outscore Miami. You're going to have a tough go of trying to hold them to a clean sheet. Atlanta's got one of the best offenses in the league. They just give up a ton of goals. So you have the opportunity, you have the chance. I don't want to say opportunity, but you have the chance of this becoming a straight up shootout. It could be a wild game.
You guys have said pretty much everything, but I got some stuff. So yeah, like you said, this game has grown. Like when I bought these tickets, I planned this trip out. It was to see Josef Martinez, and Doug Roberson posted during the show that they're actually doing a little tribute to him before the game. Cool. That's awesome. And then you had Tata, and then you had Messi, and now it's just crazy. They opened the upper deck, which wasn't even going to be open, which I still find crazy because this was Josef's return. Why aren't you opening the deck there to bring everybody in to see this? But that's where this all stops with Miami. This is all about Atlanta United at this point. They need to win this game. Pineda needs to win this game. He needs to get this signature win. Have we looked better since we got bounced out of Leagues Cup? Absolutely. Have we blown some leads and done some of the same shit that we've done before? Absolutely we have. You watch Dallas have, score a goal while we're all complaining because Almada they didn't call the foul on him, right? The entire world stopped because Almada just, didn't get called the foul. That's what happened in Toronto in the playoffs. Was it? I'm sorry?
That was in the beginning. It was Miles. in that one.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, I mean, there's that one too, right? But then there was the Almada one. Same thing. This team can't be looking at this as a, versus Messi. They need this as winning a big game and continuing to move on, because, we talked about the schedule with Felipe. It's not easy at all, but you've got to keep moving on. They've won some big games so far. I mean, they came right out and beat Seattle, and that was huge. And Cincinnati, absolutely a win. We tried to go toe-to-toe back and forth with scoring when we really didn't need to. You have to hope that they learn from all these mistakes that they have, because they've made mistakes with this new team, right? And it's the same old mistakes. Can they learn from that? Because I think those are the things that are going to, at the end of the season, Pineda's going to be judged on, right? Like, how have you not learned from some of these same things that are happening? How are you not trying to get more defensive? Why are you continuing to try to keep the game open when you're up a goal against one of the best scoring teams in the league? How can they figure all of this out and get this signature win? You're the first team to beat Miami. You're going to be remembered as that, and especially with just everything on the line, the playoffs. Can you keep Miami out of the playoffs? That's another thing, right? Like, if you're the only team that can beat Miami, and possibly this is the thing that keeps them out, good, because you don't want Miami in the playoffs. You don't want to face Messi going into there, right? So this is a huge game for the entire franchise as a whole. I don't care what Miami thinks about this. This is just all about Atlanta United.
And to give Atlanta fans a little bit of hope as well. We were talking about this yesterday at the training ground. You look at the Leagues Cup, and when you look at Inter Miami's record since Messi got here in 90 minutes, the win to draw ratio is pretty close. They didn't go and just nuke every match that they played in the Leagues Cup. At 90 minutes, they drew a lot of matches, and they had to go to penalties. Okay, well, that's a point for each team if you're in league play at that point, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of a big deal. Now, at that point, it can go either way, right? You could end up now. Messi's going to do his thing. He's always going to do his thing, right? That's why I say you're going to have to outshoot Miami in these matches
and foul him. And foul him.
Don't not foul Lionel Messi. I'm sorry, but like the fact that Atlanta played a Leagues Cup match and got beat 4-0 and never fouled Lionel Messi is crazy to me.
Embarrassing.
Intentional foul Lionel Messi. I'm sorry, you have to do it. Slow him down. Just don't do it anywhere around 25 yards.
Yeah. So you kind of brought up a good point about the draws, and Omar's saying, "Where's the bar where you need him in the chat?" No, a bar. This would be a match that'd be. Yeah, he's in Canada, but that'd be a match that's just begging out for a Barra type. No, I absolutely agree. But Tyler, you said it in Leagues Cup. It was a knockout scenario, and draws. Once you got to the knockout stage, draws went out to penalty kicks. You don't have that in regular season. Then Inter Miami aren't playing for draws. I mean, draws don't do them any good. They need wins at this stage, so they're going to want to get all 3 points out of this match, and anything less than that will be, I think, a disappointment for them. So I'll kind of pivot to kind of my prediction for this. I'll say this first off: it won't be 4-0 Miami, really like that.
For half a second, I thought you said it's going to be 4-0 Miami.
I said, no, it will not be. It will not be.
He's going to stay in Cleveland if that happens.
Yeah.
You've got 2 Miami podcasts in the chat. You can go join right now.
Yeah. No, but no, it'll be a closer match. Like you guys said, it's a different side. Atlanta are a different team. You have a lot more reinforcements. You have different faces. You have arguably the most efficient striker in MLS right now, at least. So this could be, I feel like, maybe a 2-2. Like you said, Tyler, Messi's going to do his thing. And again, a draw hurts Miami more than it does Atlanta United. So hold serve at home. Take a draw out of this 2-2. Maybe you see Yako and Almada score in this one. And yeah, maybe Messi and Josef score for Miami. But I really feel 2-2, a draw. And again, Miami's going to feel pressure to win. I don't think they will.
Tommy, what you got?
I'm the leader in our predictions thing still somehow with the whopping 2-1 score. So you go first, Tyler.
Someone go. One of you.
No. Well, we got to build up the tension a little bit. I've been going back and forth for the past 20 minutes debating on what I want to say here, but I'm going to say something stupid. I'm going to say 4-3 Atlanta. Because I really think, especially after being at the training ground yesterday. Yeah, I know, Tommy. It's hot in here, man.
Spicy hot takes.
I think this team has gotten past that first phase of like, oh my God, we're playing Lionel Messi in the Leagues Cup. I think they're done with that. And I really think this team understands what is in front of them. I think they understand they're not going to keep Lionel Messi out of the back of the net, or at least keep him from being a part of getting into the net at some point. But I also think they understand what's at stake. And I think that they can, it's going to be a back and forth affair. I really do. I think it's going to be almost like Mexico and what was it, Uzbekistan last night in the bins. It's 3-3 at the end of it.
How about Jimmy Lozano, by the way? 3-3 dog against Uzbekistan.
I know, right? Like, what the heck is going on here? Anyway, but yeah, I think it's going to be one of those where, you know, Miami fans are going to be elated for 10 minutes, and then Atlanta fans are going to be happy, and then Atlanta fans are going to be elated for 10 minutes, and then Atlanta fans are going to be deflated, and Miami fans are like, woohoo, and then it's going to be an emotional roller coaster, I really think. And yeah, 4-3. I'm giving it to, I got to give it to Atlanta, but 4-3. It's going to be stupid. We're going to need a drink after for sure.
Yeah. What you got, Thomas?
Been back and forth. My gambling heart says don't go against Messi. My heart in this situation and just getting angry about hearing how we didn't foul him and how big of a win this needs to be for Atlanta and the turf and all of that. You know, how long does Messi play? Is he really as exhausted as he is? Josef being there, it all adds into a 4-2 Atlanta United win.
Okay. So that's in line with some people. We got Bruno saying 4-1 Atlanta, Daniel 3-3 draw, Marvin 3-2 Atlanta, Colonel 3-2. I'm assuming to Miami because he said zero confidence. Bruno pointing out that Abram and Robinson and Miles Robinson played 2 games, 90 minutes each. Omar 3-2. Miami. Edgar 3-2 to the good guys, which in this case is Atlanta. Jack 3-1 ATL. F it. Heron Heads said 4-2 Miami.
Vote to kick Heron Heads, by the way.
And I thought Miles only played 1 game.
Atlanta Josetu Masterclass. Bring it on, buddy.
Did Miles really play both games? I thought he only played 1.
No, he only played 1.
Okay. Check. Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
They played Oman, but we have the man in Atlanta.
Yes, I like it. I like that. So really quick.
But sorry, I was just gonna say real quick. Tweet us out your predictions as always at Scarves to Letter and Spikes, and let us know what you think.
Yeah. And as we get ready to do this here giveaway of Carmen and Diego's stickers, we got to remind you, we're also talking about Josef Martinez quite a bit. Go to scarvesandspikes.com and get your Josef candle sticker or any of the other stickers that we have on there. Scarvesandspikes.com. That's our new website. We have a lot of cool stuff on there. Got articles coming out. Our episodes are posted there. We have our shop on there as well. Yes. Make sure you go check it out. And again, like Sydney said earlier, the Patreon episode or the rest of the episode on Patreon with Felipe will be up in about 10 minutes or so. So if you're part of the Patreon, you can check out the rest of it there.
Yes. And by the time this gets out in podcast form, it'll be up already.
Yes.
But with that said, let's give these stickers away.
Here we go.
All right. Here we go.
The wheel is spinning.
I get so nervous during this.
Edgar is our winner.
Nice.
Edgar, I think you said you never win these, didn't you?
I think
that was
feel like
you.
this has been a conversation.
He did say that.
Yep. So you got some Carmen and Diego stickers. You just gotta reach out to us on Scarves and Spikes, and we will get your information and get them to you. And let us know, and let Carmen know where you slap them at, because we want to see.
And the legal place that is.
Yeah.
Please
Don't vandalize anything
like that.
You can vandalize. You know, you can vandalize. Just don't.
Please
you can vandalize whatever
Please
you want.
Don't
let Sydney tell you what to do. You can do whatever you want with the stickers. Hey, we have a new player, right? Too? Didn't we get a new player that just finally showed up?
We did.
Yeah, TRA is in the house.
Yep.
And yeah, hopefully we see him on Saturday. Just real quick again, if you're at the match on Saturday, we will be there starting out in the supporters tailgate and then making our way to the Home Depot backyard. I don't think we'll be live, but follow our socials. We'll be talking to some of you. We'll get to chat with some of you. And yeah, we'll let you know like what we're doing throughout the day. So follow us on socials at Scarves and Spikes on Twitter or X, at Scarves and Spikes on Instagram, and we'll let you know what we're up to.
Yep.
Find us if you can.
I see. Yes, please, because we're gonna have some stuff to give away. Look, we'll be there. We'll be having a good time. It's gonna be busy, and to those of us that are following us, we appreciate it. And the other podcast, because this very much was a Miami episode as well. Heron Heads, Battered Herons. Y'all go check them out as well.
I thought they were the same. I thought they were the same people. There's a Twitter interaction where I thought I was talking to the Battered Herons, but it was the Heron Head. It's too close. if there's a Spikes and Scarves podcast that shows up next season,
copyright infringement.
Can we sue? Yeah, like let's.
It can be like it was earlier in the season, and it'd be Stars and Spikes or Scarves and Stripes.
And Spikes. Yeah.
My bad.
It's been a good one. We appreciate it, guys. Y'all also, just a quick shout out to Carmen and Diego.
Yes.
Go search them up on Etsy. That's where her shop is at. She's got a bunch of really cool stickers, not just the ones that we're giving away, but she's been doing some really cool stuff for a long time, and has some neat stuff. So go check her out as well.
And that's her social everywhere on X, Instagram. Carmen and Diego. She's easy to find. Well, they're easy to find. Carmen and Diego, of course, her dog.
Carmen and the dog, Diego.
Yes. But I'm excited for Saturday. Hope you guys are.
Yeah. I'm like cautiously excited. Like I'm almost at the point where I'm like, I just want this match to be over with, kind of.
Yeah.
Like it's just crazy. But it'll be fun. It's a spectacle, right? Like this is gonna be stupid, I think. In terms of like how busy the bins is going to be, how busy the press box is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean it'll be fun.
Early.
It's definitely a once.
Get there early.
Once in a. I don't want to say once in a lifetime thing, but like it's not very often the best player in the world gets to come to your stadium and play, right? Especially for the first time.
Absolutely.
So.
I don't care about Messi. Just win.
Yeah,
I hope he doesn't play. Like I know everybody wants to see him play, but no, I don't see him play.
He can do like he did in Bolivia and just sit on the bench and just like be like, "Hey guys."
Yeah, like go shake some hands, kiss some babies, not score a goal, whatever.
Yep. But y'all come find us again.
Yes.
We'll be in the supporters tailgate for part of the afternoon. We will be in the backyard for part of the afternoon. We will be giving stuff away. We'll be hanging out with the Fan TV folks. We might play some bingo. So y'all come find us. It'll be fun. It'll be a good time. Y'all keep up to date, like Sydney said, with the socials, X/Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. Yes. And we'll have fun.
Yes. All right. We're ready to roll?
I think so. It's been a good one. We appreciate it, guys. Edgar, hit us up so we can get you your stickers.
Remember, become a Patreon backer if you aren't already. Get that full episode, that full interview with Felipe. It's really good. So, yes.
Check me on Battered Herons in an hour at 10 o'clock. Right.
And also, Felipe has a really cool interview with Tata Martino coming out tomorrow. So if you're not on The Athletic, go check him out there as well.
Yes, indeed. Appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.